The shooting of Michael Brown occurred on August 9, 2014. Michael Brown was fatally shot by Darren Wilson, a white Ferguson police officer. This case got attention all over the nation and even abroad. Having police officers wear body cameras will show how the situation really was. On December 4th, 2014, Michael Gonchar from New York Times stated, "The hope is that body cameras will increase accountability and transparency at a time when tension is growing between communities and local police departments, especially in the wake of recent events in Ferguson, Missouri. The United States federal government should mandate police officers to wear body cameras. First, we will state the issues of police officers not wearing body cameras. Second, we will talk about the cause and why it should be mandatory for police officers to wear them, and last, we will talk about how we could solve this problem."
Main point 1. The ill. Police officers are abusing of the power as authority by assaulting a suspect and using brutality against him. Many Americans, especially those who come from minority groups, have been abused by abusive police officers. African Americans are part of that large group that have been physically abused by police officers. For example, in the shooting of Michael Brown on August 9, 2014, a white police officer, Darren Wilson, killed Brown. Some witnesses say that because Brown was being aggressive and he tried to get the officer's gun, others say that it was the officer that was using brutality and was being aggressive with Brown. Individuals have been killed unfairly, and the majority of the police officers say is that because the suspect looks suspicious. This is a problem that there is not enough evidence caught on tape, so we can't really see the perspectives of both sides of the scene of what actually happened. There's also a small percent of police officers that are right when it comes to a suspect being a criminal. For example, on January 17, 2015, a white police officer, Chancey McMillan, stopped by approaching a young African American. As Officer McMillan was patting down Walker, he felt Walker's gun. When he felt the gun, Walker ran away. He dropped the gun, he still picked it up, and he pointed it at the police officer. But unfortunately, the police officer had a chance to get his gun and shoot back, so he killed Walker. It varies on both sides because the officer can be an abusive officer, or the suspect can actually be a criminal and he will actually be hiding something and he will try to get away with it. So now that we have talked about what the problem is, we will talk about who it is to blame.
So police brutality can be attributed to two things: the way that they are trained, as well as how they are seen as society's public servants. So first I'm going to start off with how they're trained. Before they become police officers, they go to these academies, which are called secondary police schools. And in these academies, they learn how to act as police officers, and as well as the do's and don'ts. Within these schools, they learn about how they should act. However, the main thing that they emphasize is that they have to remain safe. And according to Seth Stoughton in How Police Training Contributes to Avoidable Deaths, the first rule of law enforcement is that their overall goal is to get home safely and arrive alive, because in this profession, a lot of people end up not coming out completely fine. And with this, they also instill this idea through the use of dash cams. Now, these dash cam videos that they show their police officers or their trainees shows various police officers within their jobs doing their jobs, and unfortunately, they make mistakes as sometimes maybe they aren't attentive according to their surroundings, and because of this, they end up getting mistakes that possibly get them killed. And the first response that most police officers usually end up thinking to themselves is that they do not want to end up in the exact same position as them, as well as the fact that they do not want to get a dash cam video shown of them in front of police trainees. Now, going on to the second topic, police officers are considered as public servants. And like all other public servants out there, like your clerks and your judges, they're underpaid and overworked. The only difference between police officers and the rest of them is that they face the danger of death every single day, according to Tony Pekinovsky for Ferguson Causes a Nation to Re-Examine Police Violence and Brutality. Now, in this article, he explains that this leads to leniency with the police officers because of this this danger that they constantly face. They have to deal with an overbearing amount of stress, and because of this stress they may make rash decisions that do not end up well for them. And with this leniency, they are given the benefit of the doubt. However, for some cases this is seen as an abuse of power because of things such as institutional racism, where people who are of color are given the blame when these police officers are the ones that should be blamed. Now, after discussing these two problems, now we are going to discuss about how we can solve it through the use of body cams.
The solution to this problem is having police officers wear body cameras. A big main idea is the protection of both citizens and also police officers. Currently, there was a case having to do with a citizen and a police officer, and yet we still don't know the true evidence and what really happened. And if there was a camera on the police officer, there would have been essential evidence to protect the police officer or even the citizen. According to Jay Stanley, 2013, cameras have the potential to be a win-win, helping protect the public against police misconduct and at the same time helping protect police against false accusations of abuse. Another main idea that I wanted to talk about was evidence. There was actually a year-long study having to do with actual cameras on police officers, and this essentially actually decreased over 50% of the use of force, because body cameras were present, according to Ian Lovett of the New York Times. Now that I have explained the solution to this problem, it is our job to act on it, and it's just important to have body cameras on police officers because it brings evidence, and that's what we truly want, is evidence, and we don't want to be blamed for something that we didn't do. And this, in the future, technology such as cameras will bring essential evidence and improve our future society by lowering false accusations and misconducts, and also prevent police brutality from happening.
In conclusion, the United States federal government should mandate on police officers to wear body cameras. We first explain on the issue, which is police brutality. Then the cause of that is trained and also status public servants. Lastly, we explain the solution to this problem. Now, overall, this problem won't have a solution until we act on it. According to Ian Lovett, it costs $900 per camera. Now, it might seem pretty pricey, but is $900 too much in exchange of a person's life?